Hey, this is Alex. I'm here with Joel once again. Joel, when's the last time we spoke? Was it the beginning of this year? I think it was 6 months ago.
Feels like it's been a while, but it's probably been 6 months to a year in between there.
Oh, really? That was a year ago?
I
Oh,
think
geez.
so.
Time flies. So last time you had some news for us. Your business had grown to 40,000 a month in revenue with, I don't remember the profit margin to the previous video back
I
then.
think it was around 50, 60.
So how come we're doing a new video so soon? What has changed?
A lot has happened. And first, to give people context, I was really focusing on one service, branding mostly. And then I started to open up the doors to other services that were essentially going well with branding. I started dabbling in different things and seeing what struck and what actually was profitable and doing well. And when I started to expand the services in a way that was easy to implement, right? It had to be easy to implement. I did that and it doubled. And now it's a bigger portion of my business, and branding actually became an upsell rather than the main service. That's really what happened. And it essentially doubled the revenue from 40 to 80.
Did you maintain your profit margins when doubling your revenue like that?
Yes, obviously, like there was some ups and downs in the sense where I've made a mistake for a project and had to essentially compensate. Dev costs were higher than expected, but now it's stable and it's only growing, not majorly. I'm essentially getting into the upper 50s, but it still was good in the 25s to then 30, 40, and then now over 50.
Yeah. And what else has changed in your business apart from the revenue going up? Are you working with better clients perhaps, or worse clients? What happened?
Definitely better clients. Like I've learned every time that a project would go through, working with good people that know what they're doing for each step really helped me understand like the agency is making mistakes in terms of what our team needs, what the client needs, and what systems need to be in place. And to give you an example, the biggest portion that really was sucking the life out of everyone was how the payment structure was made internally and externally. And it's small things like that as an example that made a big difference as just a better experience, but also for the client to be comfortable in spending more and investing more and coming back, which plays a big part as well. Because half the clients I have right now are returning clients.
Half the clients are returning clients. Okay. And before it was less than half?
Before it was almost none. Think of branding, right? Like how many times does a business rebrand? Every 5 years, 3 years?
Yeah, that makes sense actually. And apart from changing the main offer, what else did you change your business to allow it to grow like that?
It was a lot of small things, right? There's no like pill that you take that just changes everything. What I think really it came down to is
Give
doing
us the
those small
magic
things.
pill, Joel. You need to give us the magic pill. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're just saying a bunch of small things. Yeah, go ahead.
But the magic pill really would be like a change of mindset and really taking that broad look and going, okay, what is the number one thing that is going to change all the small things if I just apply it daily? And being in BMI, for example, is part of that. Like being active. There's a part of my journey where I fell through. I wasn't really active in the group and I was starting to not learn anymore. And I knew that this was bad. And essentially, as much as the revenue was stable, it was not going to stay stable if I kept going through with this mindset and set of actions. So in terms of mindset, it's really the mindset that came with it and changes everything. And if I were to define that mindset, it really comes down to being very objective and being able to set aside emotions, being able to look at things logically, and for everything to work in reverse from your goal as like the main thing. If I were to put it simply, there's more to it, but that's really what changed everything and changed everything over time and keeps changing things.
And what other like business things have you changed? Do you have a new funnel or something? Did you learn some new skills from people? I don't know. What else have you changed about yourself or the business?
So right now, surprisingly, I'm not doing any other funnels. And the reason why is because I really want to perfect what I have right now. And I think there's more potential. Referrals are still good. It's still a great funnel. We've always provided a good service overall, but I'm starting to learn new things now, which is very exciting. So I'm dabbling into email marketing and I'm going to be looking into Fiverr as well, which I've started already a little bit. So definitely not like a part of the revenue just yet. And there's a lot to be learned, but it's exciting, right? I've been wanting to do this since day one to start expanding to different funnels. And it's exciting to see what's going to come from it. But in terms of changes, I would say it came down to the team, obviously me, myself, and my mindset, like I said, but working with people that are just really good. And you have to pay these people well. To do that, you have to find clients that are willing to pay and being able to have the sales skills and the social proof and all of that stuff. It all comes together, but a big portion of it is just working with talented people and being around people like in BMI that are successful, that can give you tips and realign you and answer questions that would take 10 hours to understand, and you can get an answer in 2 minutes instead and learn from it.
And I think you had, what was it? Was it a burnout issue or just focus issues? I remember maybe the middle of last year or something, you had issues like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what has changed since then? Like, how did you overcome those? Maybe you don't even want to talk about those. Maybe they're secondary, but if you do, let's do that.
Yeah, it was definitely primary. Things were going well. I think what essentially happened is I hit a plateau with the current mindset that I had, in the sense of I had a goal, I achieved that goal, and I didn't really set new goals. And also not learning anymore, like not participating, not joining calls, not reading books anymore. It's like the saying of Einstein, if you don't do things differently, how can you expect a different result? So it was that essentially I was doing the same things every day, not learning or implementing. And it was a rut. For sure, it was a down, and emotionally it was tough because you're not seeing that growth. And then you start getting distracted by other things, which is a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's
But
like I called lack of business boners, not a new exciting stuff. So you try looking outside to see if there's something else, but then you don't find it outside. It was all in front of you the whole time. Is that right?
And for context, that was during the crypto rush, which was a big distraction for me. You see all these people like doing crazy numbers and doing these crazy things, and your instinct is, okay, I want to hop in on this. But really what it turned out to be was just a big, massive distraction for me, at least. I wasn't suited to do anything in that space, really. Like, obviously I had clients in the space and I should have just stuck with that, but I was starting to like dabble into changing the whole industry or agency services to crypto NFTs and all that stuff. And I think that definitely didn't help with my lack of focus, because it was the perfect escape, if anything, to get back to those business boners, like you said.
Back to the business boners. But yeah, the whole crypto thing, I think it was good. It was a good trend. It's going to come back. These things are cyclical, and some of it is still going on. Some serious projects are still going on. It's just the easy money stuff is gone. But I think it was a massive distraction for a lot of people. They thought it was like nirvana and it'll never go away, which doesn't really exist. Like, even with the current AI trend, it's not like it's going to go away. It's just not going to be like as hypey within a few months, maybe 3 to 6, 7 months. It's going to be less hypey. So even with AI, which is a lot more resilient as a trend compared to crypto or NFT back then, right? Did you try going into crypto then? Or what did you do?
I was close to changing things, but
luckily,
okay. I took the conservative approach. I just took on some projects of what it would look like if we were to switch services. And it didn't take long before things just didn't work. And it wasn't for me. And like you said, it's not anything against the crypto industry. I think, like you said, it's going to come back. I think it's solid and it's real, but the easy money's
it can't be real. It can't be real. Theoretically. Yeah. But let's be honest about what we're talking about here. It can be real. Right now, it's not. But anyway, to the crypto bros watching, you know, what we're saying is true. We're talking to people that are in business, hopefully. So don't worry about it. Okay, cool. That's a lot of change and a lot of growth. Do you project more growth now? Because you're also building a SaaS, you're doing all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. I see a lot of potential just for the fact that I'm only doing one funnel right now, right? The initial funnel is just doing so well. And it's not even fully fledged out right now. I have 25% of our portfolio pieces on there. There's so much potential, even through the leads that I see. I can definitely see myself getting more of those job posts that I see every day. I'm like, wow, this is a golden opportunity. So there is some potential there, but I think new funnels is going to really open the gates. Once I find something that sticks, like it's really going to be a bit like from 0 to 20 and then 20 to 40. I can see that happening entirely with a new funnel, which is super exciting. The SaaS opportunity is exciting, but I don't want to make that mistake that I did in the past with that crypto phase where I got distracted. And that's something that was a big worry of mine. But at the same time, I see a lot of potential, and I think it would be a mistake to not explore it, but I have to really be careful because the exploration can become a distraction, can become a loss of revenue, of growth, and hurt the agency, which is not the goal.
Okay, we can do another chat. This is the 80K chat. We can do a 160K chat if you want to grow your agency to that size. I mean, it's up to you. I'm kind of indifferent towards people staying at 80K or growing to 160 because there's a lot of optimization. If you run an 80K agency, there's a lot of optimization you can do in terms of profits, in terms of value you provide, in terms of recurring clients and referrals that you get. A lot of optimization with that where you don't have to grow and you get a lot more out of it anyway. But most people, they still want to grow past 80. Once you get to 80, most people want to grow past 80. But we'll see. Maybe we'll do another 160K one.
Maybe.
If you're up for it.
But it comes down to profit margins also, right? Like you do 160, but your profit margins are 10, 15%. You're making the same if you were to have 60% margins or
Yep.
less than 80K with that margin. And the amount of effort it takes, the amount of time, the amount of maintenance. At my stage, I'm still very much involved in the business, which is totally fine. Luckily, I'm no longer doing delivery, which is fantastic. And hence why I think I have the time to start exploring a new model, which is the SaaS model that I was talking about. So I wouldn't be able to do this like 6 months, a year ago, but my days are open. Like I do have time that is open. Obviously, I want to still grow the agency. I'm still going to put time into it, but it's exciting. It's crazy to think that I'm not required to work 8-10 hours a day and I can actually use that time how I want to. So it's not just a raise in revenue, but it's also a raise in lifestyle and why I started this in the first place.
Okay, it makes sense. It's good to hear this. And also, you're doing it in a time where most people would consider it to be harder. Now it's harder. It's less money going around. On paper, it looks easier to do it a year ago, for example, but yet you're doing it now. It's funny, no? It's probably like 30% harder than it was a year ago, maybe even more.
Yeah. And especially if you look into like funding and investors, like that is probably more than 30% harder.
Oh, yeah.
Like as much as the market plays a big part into a business's success, I'm looking to really build something that's sustainable, right? As much as possible. To me, the market drop right now makes it harder, but it's still achievable. And when the upside goes up, if we can get some sort of solid market share, even if it's like a couple percent of a big market, it could mean massive growth, massive success in years from now when things get better. But yeah, definitely harder for sure.
Anyway, I'll see you on the calls in BMI. Anyone watching this, Joel is obviously part of Business Planner Insiders still, so he's available in the community. He's doing a monthly call for branding and web design agencies. He's one amongst 20 plus people in BMI doing these calls. Cool. Thank you very much, Joel, and see you on the calls, of course, and everyone else. See you on the internet or in real life. All right, bye-bye.